Hi guys, this is David from Acceleration, the Excel Learning channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can use text join or flash fill to concatenate values in Excel. In our example, we're going to work with names. Usually names are made of a first name, a last name, and sometimes middle names. And that creates pretty much an exception because for the middle name, sometimes we do have them or sometimes we don't. And text join is perfect to handle exceptions. So how do we get the full name out of the first three columns, first, middle, and last? Well, let's go to the first record and we're going to type equals text join. And then we have to define some parameters, starting with the first one, the delimiter we want to use between the values. So in our case, between the first and middle, or between the first and last names, we want to use a space as the delimiter. So quotes, double quotes, space, double quotes, then comma. And that's where text join is extremely powerful. It allows you, again, to handle exceptions. If there is a missing value, for instance. And in our case, that would be the middle name. So how do we want to treat missing values? Do we want to ignore them or do we want to include them? In our case, we want to ignore them because if we were to include them, we would add an extra space that's not needed. So we want to ignore empty cells here. So true, comma, and then we're going to select the cells that we want to concatenate. Closing parentheses, pressing enter, and it looks very nice. Let's see how it looks like for the other records. Perfect. So when there is a middle name, it adds the middle name, and when there's no middle name, it adds just the first name and the last name, with only one space between the two values. So text join is ideal, even better than concat or concatenate, which are other formulas in Excel. So now we're going to take a look at another way to perform the concatenation using flash fill. So flash fill is new to Excel, and it's pretty much letting Excel guess what you're trying to achieve. So I'm going to remove the values and start again. And I'm going to type the outcome that I wish to get on the cell. And that would be Jane, Mary, and purposely, I'm going to capitalize the last name. So that's what I want to get at the end of the transformation, concatenating my values, but also capitalizing the last name. If I use the same formula all the way down, it will just replicate the value from the first cell. But as you can see, there is a menu at the bottom. And if you expand the menu, there is an option called Flash Fill. Let's try it. Almost perfect. So Flash Fill is great, but it is not perfect. In that case, it did pretty well. It added the first name, the middle name when there is one, and then it capitalized the last name, which is great. But it added a space when there is no middle name. So I'm going to show you guys how you can fix that using two different ways. The first one is to use a formula called trim. Equals trim, selecting the value, closing parentheses. And now we have our values without extra spaces. And that's what trim does. It removes all the extra spaces that are not needed. And that's the case, for example, here for our second value, where we have two spaces between the first and last names, but now only one using trim. If you have Xcelerator, which is my Excel add-in, then it gets even easier. You can just select your values, go to Xcelerator, text, delete leading and extra spaces. And it fixed at the values to remove all of the unnecessary spaces. And so now we have the concatenated values, and we also capitalized the last name in our example. Well, guys, I hope it was helpful. You learned how to use text join, flash fill, you learned how to get rid of extra spaces, and even some new functions in Xcelerator. So feel free to like and comment on the video, subscribe to YouTube channel. This way you will get notified when there is a new video. So thanks for watching, and I will talk to you in the next video. Thanks.